Most of the obedience, I would say that a bigger percentage of them are youths and may not have been exposed to this kind of orientation essentially. You are a sociologist. You understand human disposition and inclination to interaction. We cannot deny the despair of these dispirited youths arising from these 2023 elections. What should these youths be looking forward to, and what plausible activities should keep them afloat, considering the expedient politics ahead of them?
Leadership is key. Leadership. If the masses are left without leadership, it is dangerous. There is not mere apathy, a deliberate effort to disorient the people and let them into avenues that, or into thought processes and actions that are not conducive to the development of this country, including the elite, not even only the youth, including some of the intellectual elites. This government that we are seeing today, that is in place today, is leading Nigeria into what I may call political Abilene, the Abilene paradox, whereby rational, intelligent gentlemen are all moving like sheep in one direction without properly analyzing. And because of the psychological phenomenon of groupthink, as identified by the Yale psychologist Jamin, groupthink that constrains people to think in a particular direction, where mind guards, just like putting you in a mental cage, and people are moving like sheep, even with highly intelligent people. That's the direction in which Nigeria is moving. There must be a moral force. There must be a counter force, where people can see that this is not the way. This is what is missing today in Nigeria. The people cannot mobilize, that is, the masses cannot be expected to mobilize themselves. That is a function of leadership. And I think that this is the critical role that the leadership of the obedient movement has to make, not even the Labour Party. Because I'm one of those who believe that Labour Party as it stands cannot lead until it is reorganized, to infuse fresh blood, to infuse actual, revolutionary blood, to understand the urgency of the situation. Because a lot of the officers, with all due respect, that constitute the Labour Party at present were elected years back and belong almost to the same category as their counterparts in other political parties. And one of our most brilliant minds, or brilliant candidates in the last election at Biose, Mr. Udense Radiri, complained that the chairman of the Labour Party in Bielsa State was induced with 100 million naira to abandon the party. The obedient movement needs a new leadership that will reinvigorate the party. During our own time, activities were scheduled. There are scheduled activities. Scheduled activities. There is no question of you lying low and you don't know what is going to happen next. You know that in the next 3 months there is going to be a meeting. You know that in the next 6 months there is going to be a zonal meeting. You know that in the next 1 year there is going to... You have a plan of action to mobilize the people. The Labour Party and the LP have no means of, apart from the social media. Unlike their counterparts that control, unlike the other parties that control state television stations, national radio and television stations. APC, the leader of the APC, is one of the biggest controller of the media houses in this part of the world. And I would have liked to suggest that the Labour Party needs a formal medium, such as a radio station, both national and international, so where youth can tune in and get information, where people can tune in and get information. So I think that this gap should be filled urgently by the leadership of the Obedient movement and the Labour Party in order to hold together and further inspire those who produced this wonderful achievement in February and March 2023.
In practical terms, let's not overlook the fact that the Labour Party has achieved an unprecedented feat in this election. Where you were before this election and where you are now are miles and worlds apart. Burgeoning number of representatives in the National Assembly, a modest number of representatives in the state houses of assembly. The Labour Party has a control of states and the sitting governor. As an ardent believer in organized political leadership, what would be your advice, and how much of impact, or what would be the outlook if these elected representatives and the governor bind together, show purposeful and organized leadership?
It will make a great impact, no doubt. We don't really need, you need a very strong nucleus, a very strong base from which ideas and influences flow. And this is what is lacking. And I wouldn't say I'm discouraged, but I'm not particularly impressed. I've not had that fiery spirit so far. I've not had it so far from the members of the National Assembly, LP members in the National Assembly. I've not had a single word that presents the Labour Party point of view. I may be wrong, but I've not had one in the National Assembly. I know that the leadership of the APC and even the PDP as the major opposition party might be making systematic and deliberate effort to suppress the Labour Party voice. But I think that based on parliamentary privilege and parliamentary practice, each member has the opportunity to speak, though when recognized by the speaker. I have not seen such evidence. In fact, I won't say I'm disappointed. During the controversy over the 160 million SUV vehicles, I do not see positive comment in terms of that aligns with the philosophy of the Labour Party, egalitarian philosophy that wants to bridge the gap between the rich and the poor in Nigeria. And I pin this down still to leadership. If there is an LP caucus in the National Assembly, and if that caucus is in sync with a focused leadership of the Labour Party, I think because most of these members were just drawn, I won't say by accident, to join the Labour Party. Some of them might not really be in sync with the philosophy of Mr. P2B. This is the time to build that base. And the National Assembly is the right place to build it, in my view. So I won't go as far as criticizing them, but I think they should do more in popularizing and pushing forward the philosophy, the political philosophy of the Labour Party. So far, it has not been done at the national level. But from all I have heard and read about Dr. Alex Oti in Abia State, I think I'm proud of him. And I think he's doing a marvelous job in turning the direction of government and of the society to a more egalitarian and productive society, because that is the bane of governments in Nigeria today as I see it.